Mayor, are you unmuted?
Am I?
Okay, we got hear you.
You can hear me, can't you?
I got you.
Okay.
Hey, Jim.
Hi, Jared. How are you?
Good. You doing all right?
Doing fine. Thank you.
Hello there, Mayor. Mm-mm.
Hello, folks.
Mayor Black.
You doing, sir?
Good afternoon. There's Tom Pope. Tom Pope, I see he's online.
That's right. How you doing?
We got enough money to be doing this today, Mr. Pope, or are we out of budget now?
We've only got 10 minutes, so we're going to have to talk fast.
Hey, well, we got cut off the other night after 40, so did we buy extra time? You know, there is that 40-minute timetable. I don't know much about this, but we had to buy extra time, I believe. Did you all?
Yeah. Yes, you have to purchase an account in
Right.
order to, have unlimited time.
Right.
Spend
Yeah.
some of that money, Mayor.
I knew Danielle would know that answer.
Tell them all.
Hey, Danielle.
Howdy.
John Black, you're here.
I'm here till I've got to speak with the governor's office at 3:00, so I'm going to cut out here about 5 minutes till 3.
We're all with you at 3.
Yeah, Bill Dariff, he's going to lead the show. Hey, Bill.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is a sight I never thought I'd see. All y'all on Zoom.
Bill, the question I have when we talk about all this filing for unemployment and all these unemployment claims, I've never heard anyone say yet, is this going to make everyone's unemployment insurance skyrocket from this day forward?
The $600 that they're adding to the unemployment is going to be covered by the feds. It's not going to be added. Now, the differential, which are normal unemployment, there will be some funding coming out to help offset that, but it hasn't come out yet. But the $600 extra is not going to be a part of it.
Because I've got a company here in LaGrange, for example, that laid off some folks a couple years ago because of downturn, and their rates skyrocketed, and they're paying those rates as of today that almost sounds like to me breaks them up.
Yeah, they'll probably come out with something as a maximum rate that you can they'll raise them to or maximum percentage.
Okay. How many we're gonna have on this call, guys or ladies?
We had a pretty good response, so I'm hoping that we have a good amount.
Hey, Jared.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Jared, this is Jack. I'm on.
Great. Thanks, Jack. I guess it's about that time.
Yes, I'm about ready. I'll give it a couple more seconds and then we'll get call the meeting to order.
All right, most people will give a couple minutes. You only give a couple seconds.
That's for sure.
It's nice to be back with you guys. Haven't seen y'all in a while.
I know.
It takes a pandemic to get you to participate.
Yeah. Well, you recommended me be on the Bingham Fellows, and see, you wanted to get rid of me. I know.
Looks like Judge Vogel's having lunch.
It is.
We gotta get me on, Jerry.
I got to drink my lunch.
Okay, I think it is now 1 minute after 2, so let's go ahead and get started with the meeting. So I will start out by calling the meeting to order. If you would, number 2 would be the roll call. So please, when you answer or when you have questions or when we have motions, if we can get you to say aye and raise your hand and make it easier to make sure we've got a majority count either way. So item number 2, Jared.
Honorable John Black,
Hi.
Honorable Bernard Bowling, Honorable John Logan Brent, Honorable Sean Crothers,
Aye.
Honorable Byron Chapman,
Aye.
Honorable Beverly Chester Burton, Honorable Jack Kaufman,
Aye.
Honorable Bill Deeriff,
Here, sir.
Mr. Brian Dixon, Honorable David Eaton,
Here.
Mr. Kevin Beatty,
Here.
Mr. Jeff O'Brien, Mr. Chris John Streeps, Mr. Keith Griffey,
Here.
the Honorable Treva Hodges, Honorable Dan Eisen,
Here.
Mr. Andy Crouch,
Here.
Honorable Todd Pollock,
Here.
Honorable John Riley,
Here.
Honorable Joe Robinson,
Here.
Honorable Jerry Summers,
Here.
Honorable Jim Travis,
Here.
and the Honorable David Vogel.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
All righty, very
Mayor
good. Glad to hear
Chesterburton
that. Item number 3 is a welcome. There's a couple of comments I'd like to make is. We just
Excuse
finished
me.
the same type of a meeting with TPC. If you would, especially if there's any background noise in where you're located, is to mute yourself and of course take the mute off when you want to speak. And then one other comment I will make, of course, I was a pilot for some 20 something years or better, I guess. And by not being able to hear or see people, how you speak and speak loudly is very important. So please, part of that avenue of looking at your expressions is somewhat removed now. So please speak up, speak loudly, and mute yourself, if there's any background noise, because the mute does pick up very well. Item number 4 is our minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes, but before we have that motion, there's an agenda item I need to add to that. Mayor David Eden was in attendance, and that need to be reflected in those minutes. So with that addition, any other, I need a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion.
And your name?
Beverly Chester Burton.
Okay, Beverly.
Yes.
Have a second.
Second.
Second by Bill Deeriff. Any additional corrections other than the ones I just talked about? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
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 Opposed, like sign? Minutes are approved. Item number 5 is a March financial statements deferred to Tom. Tom, good afternoon. Tom, you with me? Okay, Tom's gone, so I'm gonna move on to 6, and when I see him pop up, we'll go back to 5. Item number 6, agency response, operations in response to the COVID-19. Jared, you give us an update?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to provide an update for how KIPDA has responded to the COVID-19 pandemic. Following Governor Beshear's declaring a state of emergency on March 6th, KIPDA began taking proactive measures to assist with the de-escalation of the virus and the protection of our employees, their families, and the communities we serve. Effective March 16th, with the KIPDA Board of Directors Executive Committee's blessing, we implemented the following protocols. We closed KIPDA entrances to outside traffic. Only KIPDA employees could enter the offices, and signs were posted on doors with phone numbers for questions or assistance. In order to accommodate the governor's request for social distancing, telecommuting and flexible schedules were made available. This included extending the available work hours from Sunday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. KIPDA meetings that did not require approval of action items were rescheduled while we moved to hold future meetings via video conferencing, and travel was restricted. Through these measures, we were operating at about half capacity on site, with the remainder of staff, including those most at risk, working remotely. On March 26th, the governor issued the Healthy at Home executive order. Following the order, only staff essential to the continuation of delivery of social services programs and maintaining minimum basic operations remained on site, while everyone else transitioned to work remotely. On average, this has been approximately 10 employees a day working in the office. As you all are aware, the COVID-19 pandemic has created many challenges for both the employer and the employee. Managing staff is difficult in ordinary circumstances, but this has made it exponentially more so. Accountability and continuing to provide services and meeting contractual requirements has been paramount. All staff that have been working remotely have been required to maintain a regular working schedule and must be available by phone and email during their scheduled hours. Additionally, they are required to maintain daily activity logs. Later in the agenda, you will hear reports from the directors on how their divisions are managing service delivery and communication.
Far as our, yeah, I've got it muted.
Equipping our staff to work from home was certainly a heavy lift, and I want to recognize Jennifer Wall and Paul Sangali, who have worked tirelessly to assure our staff has been properly equipped and educated on the technology so they can continue being productive working from home. Sending everyone home also opens up network security concerns, and Jennifer and Paul have been vigilant that staff is complying with all internet and email considerations. While this is not an ideal scenario, the response has really been a testament to the division directors and the KIPDA employees who have risen to the challenge and embraced the technology to assure that we are continuing to meet our responsibilities and continuing to provide services. We will continue monitoring the governor's guidance for how we reopen the office, but I just wanted to give you an update on how we have been operating for the past several weeks. And again, we are maintaining and will continue maintaining contact with the executive committee on future operations.
Okay, Jared, thank you. Anyone have any questions for Jared? Okay, I see the next 3 or 4 items are Tom. Tom, you back online?
Yeah, I'm back on. I'm sorry. I
Okay,
got my
Tom,
computer
let's back up
program that shut off.
The March financial statements. Tom?
Okay, thank you. In your board information, your agenda, page 30 starts the financial report. And at the end of March, we're 75% through the year, and as you can see, overall, each division is well within that. We do have a agenda item later on to make some budget revisions, so I won't spend a whole lot of time. I know a lot of you have a 3 o'clock call that's important. So, but right now we're not seeing any problems, and looking at the budget, we're not anticipating any problems. The rest of the reports, the balance sheet, and it shows we're in a sound financial position, and the agency-wide. And again, once we make the budget revisions, I think we'll be in good shape there. So I'll be glad to answer any questions anyone might have.
Any question of Tom? If not, I need a motion to approve the March financial statements.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 6. We have item number 7, financial division operations. Tom, you up again, please.
Okay, thank you. As Jared mentioned, that Jennifer and Paul have been very helpful in getting our division set up, everybody's division, but I'd like to thank them for what they've done for our division. So all of our staff is able to work from home. And they work from home in varying degrees. And some come in sometimes, and sometimes they work in the office. But we've been able to continue our operations, and we've prepared in the now hopefully unlikely event that we have to get completely shut down, that we should be able to do our entire operation remotely. But so far, everything's working really well on getting our job done.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Tom. You're up next with the Asian-wide budget revision.
Okay, and that information starts on page 38. And I'll start off by saying that we'll be back next month. This is what we know as of today. Social services didn't make a lot of changes because they got some money here recently, and I believe that it's on the agenda later for a board approval to accept that money and to utilize it. And at that point, the state was telling us we'd be getting some more money. They didn't know how much. And they had indicated, in addition to the new money, we'd be able to switch between some of our funding. Like so much of everything right now, things keep changing, but the end result was that some of the information that's reflected for social services will change, but it'll be to the better. We'll have additional funds and we'll be able to reallocate. But if you look at the first page at the bottom, you'll see some pretty healthy surpluses. Now within CED, a lot of those surpluses are in activities where both the funds and the spending will go on into the next fiscal year. So that's not money that we're gonna get to put in the general fund at the end of the year. In transportation, that's such a large balance because we have stopped filling some of the positions because of the uncertainty when people would be here to be trained and just what our future budget would reflect. So we've had a considerable amount decrease in salaries in the transportation division. We also, the board had approved the second round of purchases of vans in this fiscal year. And that's been put on hold because obviously because things are shut down, our van pools have actually reduced while people are not working. Obviously they don't need to ride the van. So that's the reason that we have such a big surplus there. And then the surpluses are spread throughout social services. And again, as we get to the budget revision that'll be coming next month, some of that'll probably be decreased. The second page, just for reference only, that's the budget that was approved by the board, and the most recent budget that was approved by the board in July of 19. And the third page shows the changes from the last budget that was approved, just to give you an idea of where those changes took place. And then following are the divisional reports, and broken down by activities and the line items within those that we have as of today. So the very last part is a breakdown agency-wide of all of the revenues that we have and what changes there have been since July. I'll be glad to answer any questions anyone might have.
Any questions for Tom? This is a moving target, as we well know, and we can see that, we just kind of keep revising, I suppose, every month till we get this thing completed. If any questions, if not, I entertain a motion to approve the agency-wide budget review.
So moved.
Hear a motion?
So moved, Byron.
Motion. Do I have a second?
Who made the motion?
Come on, girl.
Hip Rachel out here. Who made the motion?
Who?
The motion was by Bill Duroff and your second was by Bernie Bolin.
Okay, sorry.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
someone needs to mute their computer because they're slapping their kids right now.
Please, make sure to mute your computer of any background noise. But
Yeah.
Did you get the motion and second?
Yes, I got both.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, we've got.
Thank you. Thank
Any
you.
questions? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion does carry. Item number 9 is the agency parking lot resurfacing. Tom?
Thank you.
Again?
Again, in your package, we have a proposal that has been submitted for that, and it's on page 53. As most of you are aware, that the condition of the parking lot's been not really great. As long as we've been here, we've had a problem with the drainage, and that also adds to the deterioration. We've been working with J-Town Public Works. The mayor has offered their assistance, and their director of Public Works has been very helpful working with us. And they've allowed us to tie into the contract they have for their paving, so we feel a better price than we would have gotten if we just did it on our own. And we run that by Mitzi, and she feels that that's an accurate or an acceptable method of procurement. One thing, as long as we've been here, everybody's told us that's looked at it for resurfacing and has said, wow, they can't do anything about the drainage. So again, working with the works department and the paving company, it's been decided and recommended, and we want to proceed with that if the board approves, is to put 2 catch basins in to help the water. They're going to regrade it a little bit and then put those catch basins in. And we think that's going to greatly reduce the problems we have with the retention of the water and also the resulting deterioration. So we'd originally thought about doing this on the weekends because it would be so disruptive to staff, but we felt that it made sense to go ahead and do it now when there's limited staff in the office. And we'd save about $4,000 to do that. So the combined price, and this proposal has been looked at by the J-Town Public Works Director, and he feels it's within the contract and reasonable, is $57,020.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir. Question?
would you entertain a motion to approve this?
Yes, I will.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second? Any questions of anyone?
Was this
I'm sorry.
contract part of a competitive bid?
Yes.
I have a quick question. Can you just say your name when you're making the motion in the second? Please.
Sorry, John Riley made the motion.
Okay, I thought that's who that was. I didn't hear a second though.
I thought I had a second. Someone second the motion?
Jim
I'll
Travis.
second it.
Thank you.
Okay.
I
Was there a
got-
question someone had?
Sorry.
My question was this dollar amount, when we bid jobs, we bid jobs, it was a part of a competitive, bidding process, were there other, or was it just a number that said they shot to us and somebody said looked okay?
Global Paving, City of J-Town put out a competitive bid, and KIPDA has piggybacked on top of that bid price. So it is a legal competitive bid. Global Paving was the one that won the bid at that time.
No, okay, all right. Okay.
Does that answer your question, Judge?
The also based on the asphalt price, oil price at the time of paving. So it will probably come down about $1 or $2.
All right.
Jerry, did you have a comment you make?
I was just going to say essentially what the mayor said, that we were just piggybacking on their procurement.
Okay. I know the city of Middletown, we do that a lot because when you get a number such as that, you can save money, but a good point, Judge Vogel. Okay. Any other questions on this motion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10 is agency audit. Tom, are you up one more time?
All righty. I think most of you are aware of it, but all of the ads are required to, before we have an audit done, submit a request to the Auditor of Public Accounts to see if they want to do the audit of the individual ad that year. And we have done that, and the auditor has said they won't be doing our audit this year. So when we got FY20 was the third year of a procurement with our audit firm, and when I contacted them to get an engagement letter, they indicated that they had been experiencing over this 3-year period considerable increases in the amount of time it was taken because of some changes on some of the requirements. And last year, I know we had a situation with one of my staff that's been here forever retired. So we had a new person helping on the audit, and I think that entered into it. And the bid originally for this 3rd year was $23,450. They're asking for an additional $10,000. They said that they actually had their billable time was like 60,000, and so they're not trying to recover anything in the past, but they're anticipating that's a higher amount is going to be required than was originally estimated. It's still going to be, it's not going to, this obviously it would just be going to 33,000 if it's approved. Now, the other option would be we could put it all back out to bid. You know, our experience has been that they've been the successful bidders when there was competition. Last time there was no competition, but if it's the board's desire, we could put it back out to bid. It's going to have to be put out to bid next year, but
Is the bid that they are under right now, do they have the ability to raise it by 50% almost?
well, there's that provision in there that if circumstances, you know, I think what they're saying is that if things change, they can get out of their price. It doesn't say that, you know, they can put something in there that we'll have to accept or anything. But when I talked to them, I said, you know, it's very likely we'll have to put it back out to bid, and they seem to be aware of that.
Is legal okay with that large of an increase on a biddable item?
At this point, I don't know, is Mitzi on? I have not talked to Mitzi about it.
Because I know we usually can adjust for possibly inflation if the contract adjusts for it, but I don't know, that's quite a bit of increase.
Mm-hmm.
You're going from 23 to 33.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it may be justified,
Right.
I'm not sure if we can actually do it without bidding it.
Yeah, I'd have to see the actual contract and see how that fits with the procurement, but it does seem like a large increase.
I think my opinion would be to put it out for bid. Then we know we're doing it legal and proper and getting a good number.
That's true.
I agree with that. I think it should go out to bid.
Okay, I guess, Tom, then I need a motion to put it out for bid. Would that be?
Yeah, that would be, yeah.
Okay, do I have a motion to put it out for bid?
I'll make that motion, Judge Vogel.
Judge, okay, and a second?
I'll second.
And Bill Deriff got a second. Okay, is there any other questions about it? If not, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Tom, will it be back on the agenda for next month? Do you think it's that fast?
Right now, the way things are going, I don't know if it'll be next month or not, but
okay.
no, we want to get it as quickly as we can, but it may not be next month.
Okay, and we do have time, of course, to make that happen. Well, we've got to. Okay.
Yeah, and if I might ask, if any of the board members have audit firms that they think might be interested, if they could notify me, I'll make sure that they get the information about the bid. If anybody has an auditor that they'd like to recommend.
Okay, good deal. Forward that to Tom, of course, as soon as possible. Okay, item number 11 is the Transportation Division operations in response to COVID-19. Ms. Amanda Spencer. Amanda?
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everybody. The Transportation Division has taken the following measures in response to COVID-19. All our staff is working from home. We're using Microsoft Teams to stay in constant communication. Essential staff members are coming into the office as needed to maintain operations, and our planning work essentially continues as normal. Our MPO committees are being held only when there are action items to address, and we're meeting in the same way that we're meeting today, via Zoom with the public participating on YouTube. Our van pool program has been impacted significantly. Our 65 van pools are down to 12 actively operating today, with those others taking temporary departures. We've halted all contract marketing and advertisement to reduce cost. And we're working really closely with TARC to explore the possibility of being able to receive some CARES Act stimulus funding. And I'll ask you momentarily to consider a resolution related to this funding. With that said, our rideshare staff is staying busy. We're continuing to work with our customers. We're working with TARC to maintain our van pool fleet, and we've increased our focus on telework education and support. I'd be glad to take any questions about the Division of Transportation Operations at this time.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Okay, I think you're still up, Amanda, for item number 12, Transportation Policy Committee report.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Important action items from today's Transportation Policy Committee include approval of our fiscal year 21 work program. And this document, which is required by the Federal Highway and Federal Transit Administration, outlines funding, staffing, and planned activities for the upcoming fiscal year. I'll also ask you shortly to consider a resolution that would allow us to enter into agreements with KYTC and NDOT for items that are outlined in this work program that the Policy Committee approved. Requested cost increases were also approved for MPO dedicated funding in Kentucky. Amendment schedules were shared with our Policy Committee to allow for changes to our long and short range plan. Administrative modification 1, which is minor changes to those documents, was also presented. The Policy Committee will not meet in May, and board action is requested to approve my report.
Now, action is requested here. Any question before we go to the motion? Do I have a motion to accept the report?
I'll make motion, David Eaton.
And a second? Second. Who seconded it?
Bernie.
Okay. Any questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Amanda, you're up again, Transportation Division contracts.
Thank you, sir. I have 3 resolutions for the board's consideration. The first will allow our executive director, Mr. Haley, to enter into agreements with Kentucky and Indiana for funds and activities outlined in the fiscal year 21 work program that I mentioned that the Policy Committee approved today. This includes our typical MPO planning activities, keeping that federal transportation funding flowing to our region, and operation of the van pool program. It's $3.3 million in federal funding for fiscal year 21 with $739,000 in local match. Board action is requested to approve the resolution, which you'll find as agenda item 12 on page 55 of your meeting.
Okay, we want to take those separate, right?
I think so, yes, sir.
Okay, all right, then for this first resolution, I need a motion to approve that resolution.
I make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Have a second?
Second.
Okay, a second. Any questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the first resolution is approved. Amanda, second one?
Thank you. The next resolution would allow our executive director to enter into an agreement with TARC to accept any of this CARES Act stimulus funding that I mentioned for van pool operations. This funding is to prevent, prepare for, and respond to COVID-19. We're not sure we're going to be able to get it. We are hopeful. It would be 100% federal, no match required. Board action is requested to approve this resolution. Page 57.
Bill Durf made a motion. Second?
Bernie.
Do we have a second?
Bernie did.
Okay, all right, any questions on this CARES? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved. Okay, the last one, Amanda, please.
Last, I have for your consideration a resolution that will allow our executive director to enter into an agreement again with TARC. TARC will complete a mobility services plan and a fleet electrification strategic plan. They'll use $225,000 in federal funds that flow through KIPDA, and they will provide the 20% match. TARC will provide that. You approved a resolution in January for Mr. Haley to accept these funds for TARC, and now this resolution will allow us to pass those funds on to TARC.
Okay.
Board
If
action.
I understand it, there'd be no money from KIPDA, it'd be through TARC with the match, right?
That's correct.
Okay, do a motion?
So moved.
Motion.
We
Second.
have a motion, a second.
Andy Crouch.
Question? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Amanda, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 14, Social Service Division, Jessica Elkin. Jessica, you on board?
I believe so. Hello.
Hello.
So it's nice to see you all. Thank you for joining us today. And thank you, Chairman. I'd just like to echo Tom, Jarrett, and even Amanda in thanking the IT department for making things possible here with staff. As Jarrett had said earlier, we have about 10 staff in the division, essential staff still working on site, and we rotate them in and out each day to assure that services and planning is still continuing. I'm proud to say that KIPDA staff and providers have stepped up to fight this crisis in very unprecedented ways. That they're all saying yes, they're all saying how, and how do we get there? Very proud of them. Internal and external providers, our internal staff and external providers are basically using phone and televideo conferencing as well to continue to provide services. With very few exceptions, they're getting very creative. Our mission's intact and this network is continuing to serve this community. And I'd like to take a little time just to kind of go through each of our programs and let you all know what is happening in the community with each program. So first would be our sister program. As you all know, they help to make sure that our community has insurance. Over the past few weeks, I think about 2 weeks into the COVID crisis, KHB reached out to us and to them and asked if they could do presumptive eligibility fee-for-service Medicaid applications. And that's primarily going to those individuals who have been laid off from work, lost their insurance. It allows them to have insurance coverage through the end of this fiscal year. They did 1,600 of those applications in the first week. I'll talk to you just a little bit about some extra funding that we got to assist with that as well. But they are working very hard to make sure that each Kentuckian has a health insurance so they can remain healthy. Starting next week, they'll probably be also helping with SNAP and unemployment benefits to make sure that the state is processing those. As you all have probably heard, they are very overwhelmed and need some help. And they have talked to us about potentially doing that. DCBS is processing applications from jails. I know that's a big concern. So I wanted to make sure that everybody knows that it's still in the process as well. Our ADRC staff and support center call staff in the month of March took and processed over 5,000 calls for information and assistance for services. And our Title 3B and 3C programs have been coordinating with each other to assure that supportive services are being delivered to the extent possible. Mailings, phone call, care support groups, video conferencing. There's over 700 calls being made each week to clients for telephone reassurance, checking in with them, making sure they're healthy. Do they need anything? Are you getting your meals, et cetera, and so forth. One of the largest challenges and one of the most important services throughout this has been meals. Our meal providers have been working double time along with the planners. From March 23rd to April 17th, there's over 25,000 meals served in our community through our network of providers. Thank you. Thank you to everyone that has made that possible. Please check out on our website as well. The division heads have been coordinating here in the GIS department, helped to develop a map that shows not only what the KIPDA region does as far as providing meals, but for the entire state in all ads. So it really helps to tell our story. And we've been really getting out there with social media with the SEDS department and Amanda's team as well, transportation and GIS, to making sure the story is told and the information is there where people can find it. Great teamwork, you guys. Many thanks to Sue Johnson and Vesselina Romanoff, our planners here, for working very hard and coordinating with our providers, Masterson's Jewish, Tri-County Multi, and Louisville Metro Senior Nutrition to make sure that people are getting meals and staying at home, and those volunteers that help support that program as well. One of the most impressive and heartwarming things throughout this was that our transportation provider that used to transport people to our senior centers to get meals are now taking meals from those senior centers and driving them to those seniors. So they're no longer transporting people to the services. They're transporting the meals to the people. And they do over 700 of those each week in Jefferson County. Our outer rural counties, their staff and volunteers are delivering meals to individuals. And other services remain intact, like our SHIP and long-term care. We're working to get information out there as quickly as possible to providers in the community to assure that people are knowing about the scams going on with COVID. People are knowing what to do when they have a family member that's in a long-term care facility and they feel like their rights are being violated, which if you've watched the news, that is happening across our state. They've even gone so far as to develop a task force that Catholic Charities, our long-term care provider, is working with very closely to problem solve how to assure that people are getting what they need. Our home care in-home services program, around the second week of COVID, we were notified by ElderServe, which is one of our largest home care providers, that financially they could no longer continue to provide home care services. ElderServe is still out there, still providing services, but unfortunately they couldn't maintain that program. And I know you guys have some of these agencies in your community, please thank them. So Always Caring, Lifeline, and Tri-County stepped up immediately. We told them what was happening, and within 5 minutes, they said, give us the clients, give us the aides, we'll make sure these people are served. And over a course of 7 days, they transferred 191 clients to make sure these people could remain in their homes and not in nursing facilities. Waiver continues as ever. There's constant changes there. That staff is all working from home except for the coordinator, making telephone calls to individuals and assuring care plans are established for COVID and the challenges that they face with caregivers. Our special projects and our 3D programs still being provided by phone. We're attending community meetings and making sure that we're working with those partners that have already been established so that we stay informed, that we're informing them, and we're working together as one to make sure that elders and those with disabilities have all the information that is available for the community. I just want to say quickly, as well, many thanks to you all, our governing board and our advisory council, for your support and your encouragement. We can't do this without you, and for the work that you all have done in your own communities to assure that these citizens have what they need. I hear new things every day about how creative you all have been to make sure that you are assuring that people are healthy at home. So I just wanted to take a little moment to say thank you for that. It takes a whole village to make this work, and I'm proud of this village. And if you have questions, I'm here to answer them. Let me know.
Okay, thank you, Jessica. Item number 15 is the fiscal year 2020 Division of Social Service Businesses. Jessica, you up again, please.
Thank you, sir. So I have 3 items today for your approval. This should be item agenda 15. I believe it's page 59 in your packet.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. The first one is to ratify our executive director signing the revised KHB contract with the Cabinet for Health and Family Services. So that one is related to what I was speaking to earlier about the assister program and them doing some extra activities. They did add $250,000 to that contract to assure that we had staff available to provide those services. So we're asking that you ratify Mr. Jarrett Haley signing that contract.
All righty, we'll take them separately then, I assume. Well, I have a motion to approve the Jared ratifying that contract. Do I have a motion? Motion, do I have a second? Second?
We had the two. We had Mayor Burton and then.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I missed it. All righty. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm sorry, I did not hear who made the motion.
I've got them, Rachel. I can give it to you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay. Please, when you make a motion or a second, state your name if you would for Rachel. Makes life easier for her. Okay, all in
Thank
favor
you.
of this motion, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, go ahead, Jessica, item number 2.
Thank you, sir. So item number 2 is related to our Title III contract, and that's our supportive services, meals, health promotion, caregiver, et cetera. So we did not only receive our carry forward funds during this period, but also the COVID-19 funds. So we're asking that you ratify the executive director signing the Title III revised contract with the Department for Aging and Independent Living.
Okay, motion.
I'll motion. This is Todd Pollock.
All right,
Thank
a
you.
second.
Second, David Vogel.
Dave, okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the last item there, Jessica.
Okay, one more time. Thank you, everybody. So the last one is for our FY20 provider contract modifications. We're asking that you all authorize amendments to the FY20 provider contracts pending the COVID-19 funds and the negotiating agreements with current providers. So each and every day brings a little something new. We have received those COVID funds that we are going to disperse. But not only that, I want you all to know that we've reached out to every single provider that we have and asked them what they believe they can perform the rest of the year. So those contract modifications will be based on those many factors. And we will, no matter what we do during this period that we're asking for you to give authorization for, we will present that at the following board meeting so that you all are, not only will we present it to the executive committee and Jarrett signing, but we will present them in detail. We want you to know exactly where these funds are going and how providers are performing. So thank you.
Motion,
Motion to approve.
questions? Oh, and a second?
Second, Jim Travis.
All righty, any questions of this motion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 16, Community and Economic Development Division. Danielle Story. Danielle?
So thank you, Chairman. Yeah, I'm just going to follow suit with everybody else and give a big thanks to all the KIPDA team that got us all set up and able to continue business as usual during all of this. The SAT staff is just the same as social services and transportation. Our staff is utilizing Microsoft Office Teams as well as OneDrive to continue to do work. They're utilizing email and their personal cell phones for you to be able to get in touch with them. They are also calling in and checking their work voicemails as well. So you should be able to get in touch with them if you need anything at all. Additionally, we are holding weekly staff meetings via Zoom, and all other meetings that we have with state agencies have also been converted over to phone or video conferencing. So work is continuing with state partners as well. Staff is still attending your city council and fiscal court meetings. So they will probably be reaching out to you, trying to stay up to date on what is happening within your community so they can continue to be informed and provide assistance if you need them to. Some additional things have changed. Most things are on the front of like grants are basically the same with the exception of they did change requirements for public outreach for Land and Water Conservation Fund and rec trails. We are no longer required in-person public hearings. We can offer a video conferencing, or we can do a public survey as long as we still advertise in the paper, like, you know, as you normally would, and offer them other ways like mailing in a survey, those sorts of things. But we can't reach those public hearing requirements in other ways now. We are still waiting on the Department of Local Government to give us guidance related to CDBG and our public outreach requirements. Right now, they are still saying that, you know, we have to do in-person income surveys for CDBG grants. We have to do in-person public hearings. We are hoping that there will be some changes to that in the future, but we will let you know as soon as we know. But that's about it as far as changes for the SED division. Any questions at all?
Any questions with Danielle? Okay, you still up, Danielle, for the Regional Water Management Council.
Yes. So the KIPDA Regional Water Management Council held their fourth quarter meeting on Tuesday, April 14th via Zoom video conferencing. The council was joined by staff members from the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority, the Kentucky Division of Water, the Public Service Commission, and the Kentucky Rural Water Association. Upper management from each agency gave a thorough report on how they are addressing the needs of each water and wastewater system in our Commonwealth and the ways they plan to keep assisting any infrastructure concerns during the COVID-19 epidemic. Justin Carter, our regional planner, assisted KIA with composing a list of near shovel-ready projects for a potential stimulus package funding opportunity being offered from the Council of Infrastructure Financing Authorities. There was a total of 70 projects that were submitted to KIA from our KIPDA region for the possible stimulus package funding. There were 22 water projects, 42 wastewater projects, and 6 stormwater projects that were submitted on our list from the KIPDA region. The Clean Water Professionals of Kentucky and Tennessee said the plan with possible funding stimulus should be released the first week of May. So hopefully we'll hear back on that very soon. Our Justin Carter and Zach Herzog with GIS staff, they're currently wrapping up our 2020 system visits with all the regions, water and wastewater systems. And of course, we remain committed to assisting all of our regional operators and water professionals with funding and technical needs during this outbreak, and we'll continue to be applying for SRF and CDBG funding this upcoming cycle. If there's any questions, I'd be attempt to answer. If not, I'll have Justin respond to those questions. Action is requested to approve this report.
Okay, I need a motion to accept this report.
So moved, David Eaton.
Second.
Second.
Joe Robinson.
All right, any questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sound. Item number 17, Danielle, you're still up.
Yes.
CDP contracts.
Yes. So I have 2 contracts and an equipment purchase. So I'll take each separately. The first contract is a contract with Henry County to enter into a contract with Henry County Fiscal Court to update Henry County's comprehensive land use plan. It's their 10-year update, and we will be updating the data and text and mapping for that plan. The total contract amount is $5,000. Requesting permission for Jared Haley to enter into the contract.
Oh, you do want to take them separately, right? Understood?
That's correct.
Oh, okay. We need a motion for $5,000. Was that the amount, please?
That is correct.
Okay. Motion to approve this contract.
So moved.
Bill Dariff, a second.
Second, John Riley.
John Riley. Any questions? All in favor, then aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That one does carry. Okay, Danielle, the second one.
The second one is a contract with the city of Shepherdsville to perform GPS collection of stormwater infrastructure. The data collected will be used in modeling software to help the city develop projects to address their stormwater issues. The project will be conducted over an 18-month period in 2 phases. The total contract amount is $235,600. Requesting permission for Jared Haley to enter into that contract.
Okay. Over 18-month period, I understand, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Motion to approve this contract.
I'll make the motion, Judge Summers.
Judge?
I'll second the motion, Todd Pollock.
All right. Any questions of this contract? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Danielle. You've got one more, looks like, with us COVID-19 responses, please.
Well, before that, it's not on the agenda, it's not listed on the agenda, but there is an equipment purchase approval that I need to go along with that Shepherdsville contract.
Say it again.
Equipment purchase approval that I need to go along with the Shepherdsville contract.
So we're back into 18 for the Shepherdsville, another contract. Okay, explain that to us then, what we need.
Yes, so we need to purchase new GPS equipment in order to actually perform the contract for Shepherdsville. Our current GPS equipment does not provide the level of detail that we need in order to give more accurate data to Shepherdsville for their modeling software. The purchase that we are requesting is a Trimble Geo 7 centimeter bundle kit, and it comes with the full package comes with software as well as training goes along with that. It is a total of $15,385, and the reason again that we need this is because it provides sub-centimeter accurate data to build stormwater models for stormwater infrastructure, and our current GPS equipment does not do that. So requesting permission to purchase the Trimble Geo 7 centimeter bundle kit at $15,385.
This can be used for other projects as well, I assume?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and something like this, what budget item would it come out of? Just a general budget?
It would come out of the contract.
Okay, okay, out of the country. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
All right, I need a motion to approve this contract, $15,385, if I heard that right. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, second?
Did you get a bid on it?
Second. Any questions about this?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Is the old unit valuable? Can we get rid of it? Can we sell that? Or what are you going to do with the existing unit that you have?
It was my understanding that we would still be utilizing, still utilize the old unit as well.
Okay.
There's still be some value to us then here at KIPDA.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
And Mayor Black, this was on the state price contract.
Yes, I should have mentioned that, yeah.
Any other questions? I have a motion, second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you.
Now you ready to go to 19?
I am, yes. Okay, so we have some COVID-19 resources available for you all. They are on our website under the Community and Economic Development page. There's a COVID-19 resources page that you can go to find links to all of these programs. I'm sure you're probably aware of most of them, but we do have them all collected in one space, and just trying to give you an update on what we know thus far. We have the FEMA Public Assistance Program that you can apply for emergency operation costs, training, disinfection of public facilities, medical care. It even reimburses for the distribution of food and water and medicine and other supplies. They did ask for an application for that. It's much more simplified. And so I encourage you all to look into that if you haven't already. And again, we can provide assistance if you need to on that. As things that don't apply for that is like regular time, comp time, loss of tax revenue, those sorts of things. But there are plenty of things that would be useful. So if you need assistance, we'll be happy to help you with that application. Additionally, FEMA assistance, the firefighters grant, which the CARES Act authorized an additional $100 million to that grant funding, and it actually includes covers the purchase of PPE equipment and various other supplies. And they've actually are going to be releasing a new application window for that. And it should be announced within the next couple of days. And that application should be available as of next week. Again, if that's something that you are interested in applying, we would be happy to assist you with those grants. Please reach out. As soon as we know when the application is open, we will post that on our website. And then we have, assistance through the Small Business Administration, which actually both of these programs currently do not have run out of funding. We are hoping that in this next round of stimulus funding that's coming through Congress, that these programs will be replenished. Economic Injury Disaster Loan, which offers working capital loans up to $2 million and an economic disaster loan advance up to $10,000. And then the Paycheck Protection Program, both of them, again, out of money right now. So we know if they get replenished, we will let you know, and then have that information available on our website as well. And last but not least, there is a COVID-19 federal resource guide that the USDA and its federal partners have several programs specifically that can help with rural communities, and it has it broken down by the type of customer. So whether it's an individual or it's a local government, or maybe it's an agriculture industry in your community, which specific types of federal programs apply for each of those types of people. That is also on our website, and it's a great resource, and I highly suggest that you all check it out if you haven't already. And if you need any assistance in applying for any of those grants or loans, please reach out and we will try to help guide you through it. And that's it.
All right, thank you so much. Item number 20, Human Resources and Administrative Source. Kelly, you're up.
All righty, can everybody hear me? Looks like I'm in okay, good. So again, same things that the other divisions are doing. We are currently using OneDrive and Microsoft Teams. I have some staff, half the staff is working from home, but we still have 2 staff members that are coming into the office. We are not hiring right now. No purpose in hiring if we don't have the staff here to train or to shadow and things like that. So we're not hiring. Obviously, nobody's traveling to any conferences right now, so that's been put to a halt. We are taking the opportunity to do a lot of organization, updating of policies and procedures here internally, including our records retention, employee manual, evaluations, travel, things like that. Continuing, to manage employee benefits and continue to prepare for all the board meeting and all of our other meetings for the agency, assisting with the other divisions and support. Also encouraging and offering professional development. So for those that are home, encouraging them to, to take this opportunity to educate themselves via YouTube to learn, further learn about Excel and things like that. We do the staff that is continuing to come in because we still have mail to process, we still have phones to answer, we still have supplies to buy, repairs to make, and things like that. So we still have staff that are coming to the office and maintaining, processing checks and processing incoming, outgoing mail. So that's kind of what we're doing, but we are scaled back, obviously. Anybody have any questions about that?
Questions? Okay, thank you. Now you're up next, aren't you, Kelly,
Yeah.
and Elisa for the mail machine?
I've got, next one and the next one. So the next one is mail machine. We have been leasing a mail machine and it has expired. So we would like to enter into a new lease. It's for our mail machine that we process all of our mail. We spend, well over $20,000 a year on mailing out, program materials. So we need a good quality machine. We leased with Scott Mailing before. This is going to be a 60-month lease for $299.40 a month. It's an increase of about $18 from our previous lease per month. So the lease obviously includes the meter, the equipment, the access to funds, online reports, maintenance, parts, labor, support, service, installation, training, etc. So I'm requesting board approval to enter into new lease with Scott Mailing Solutions for a lease of a new mailing machine. Action is requested.
All right. You've heard the request. To have a motion to accept the request on the lease of the mail machine.
I'll make that motion. Todd Pollock.
All right, Todd, thank you. Second? Have a second? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we'll have a second. Any questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Kelly. You've got that one. I think you're up for one more time, aren't you?
One more time, and I'm trying to make it quickly as I can. Okay, so we had a couple resignations. Of course, this is probably during March and April. Jennifer Hopper, who was in our waiver department in social services, resigned March 6th. Teresa Sumlin, service advisor, resigned March 20th. Sarah Beck, who was a transportation planner, resigned April 17th. We currently have 2 part-time service advisor positions open, 1 full-time service advisor, 2 full-time transportation planners, and 1 full-time community outreach. So we still have a lot of positions that are open, but we'll get back to that hiring once we feel like it's safe to bring new people on. We currently have 77 full-time permanent, 3 part-time permanent, and 6 full-time temporary. That concludes my report. Action is requested.
All right, action to accept this report. Motion?
I'll make the motion. Sean Carruthers.
Motion,
I'll
thank you, sir.
second the motion,
Second?
Judge Summers.
Have a motion and second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Thank you so much. Item number 23, it's the executive director's actions. Jared, you're up again.
As you all know, this is kind of an ever-evolving environment requiring some immediate action. So similar to what we do in November, I'm asking for board approval for us to work through the executive committee for any action items that need immediate action, and then we'll bring them back at the next board meeting for ratification.
Okay, that is a motion needed to authorize Jared.
I'll make that motion, John Riley.
Motion?
And I'll second that motion, Judge Summers.
All right, motion and second. Any questions of Jared?
Just as
All in
long as
favor,
it, yeah, wait a minute now.
Yeah, okay, go.
Just as long as it doesn't come under business where it gives Jared $100,000 a year raise.
Oh, you've already heard about that then, I guess, then.
Well, you know, if that's called necessary business without board approval, then I'd have to be against it. So, you know, just don't jump in and give Jared $100,000 a year raise without total board approval.
There you go. I'll make
That
sure.
seems
Yeah.
fair.
Mayor Black's
Okay,
not
any
on the
other comments?
executive committee.
No.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Jared, looks like the motion carries. Go right ahead. You're up to number 5. Intergovernmental reviews. I understand everything's okay here, A through
J, everything's okay. They can all be taken together.
okay, A through J taken together. Motion to approve the intercommunications. Motion?
Motion to
I'll make-
approve, Jack Kaufman.
Jack Nelson, thank you.
Second, John Black.
John, okay, John, thank you. Any questions of any of these? All in favor then of aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you so much. Item number 25, Executive Director's Report. Jared?
We didn't have the legislative report on the agenda for this month, but I did want to touch on 2 items that were impactful to the area development districts. In February, I reported on House Bill 528 that codified the Joint Funding Administration formula and clarified reporting requirements. This included our financial reporting documents to be housed on the state transparency portal. House Bill 189 from a couple years back required each ad to host their financial information on their own website in a searchable format. Using the state transparency portal would be far less burdensome and also more cost effective. House Bill 528 passed the House with a 76-8 vote on March 19th, but then stalled in the Senate due to COVID-19. So hopefully this will be revisited next session. There was one other bill, which was House Bill 564, that would have potentially impacted our participant directed services program. The bill contained language which would essentially open up the ability for privatization of the program. As a little background, in 2006, the ads at the request from the state helped develop the program. We are currently providing case management and fiscal management. In 2016, the Department for Aging and Independent Living asked the ads to accept a reduction in fees for services by the state in return for more volume. So opening up the private program to privatization would have unintended consequences beyond potentially driving the ads out of the program. For instance, participants in rural areas could be forced into costly long-term care facilities, and the dichotomy of this scenario would result in inequities of future providers, case management quality, and increased cost. Fortunately, through discussions with our legislative members, a Senate floor amendment was introduced that removed the language of concern, and this passed both chambers nearly unanimously as one of the last acts of the 2020 legislative session. So that's just kind of wrapping up the legislative session from the ads perspective. To move on to the next item, which is travel. Obviously, this is a pretty easy report. We don't have travel for the foreseeable future, but I did want to just mention a couple of the items that have been approved by the board previously that were canceled and refunded. We had a performance management training in Indianapolis, which was going to be attended by 2 of our transportation planners, which was canceled. The American Planning Association annual conference in Houston, Texas, April 24th to 28th, 2 members from our SES division also canceled. I had planned on attending the NATO Washington Policy Conference in Arlington, Virginia, March 14th to 18th. And we had one social services staff member that was going to attend the American Society on Aging Conference in Atlanta, which was also canceled. Just to wrap up some of the items that you all had approved that were canceled. The next item is meetings. As Amanda said earlier, there will be no TPC meeting in May, but the Regional Transportation Council will meet on May 28th at 1 p.m. through Zoom. Randall will be sending out the information for the Zoom meeting. And then at 2 o'clock on May 28th, we'll also be hosting the KIPDA Board of Directors meeting also through Zoom, and we'll be sending out that information in advance. So those are the next month's meetings. And just kind of wrap up, thank you all for joining us today. I know this is a new experiment for all of us. I look forward to seeing you all back in the office, but thanks for joining us. And as you can see from all the reports, we are still operating at full capacity. So if you all have any needs for assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to us because we are still here to help. And that concludes my report.
All right, very good. Item number 26, any questions of Jared before I move on? Okay, item number 26, any other business come before this board? Hearing none, item number 27, motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
I'll second them.
Have a motion, to have a second?
I'll second the motion, Judge Summers.
All righty, have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be safe out there and look forward to seeing you next month. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
well.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.